Now the latest on the political chaos and internecine warfare among Republicans in the House of Representatives. The man who was ousted yesterday as House Speaker, Congressman Kevin McCarthy of California, saying now he will not try to get elected again. An obvious decision, but at least two Republicans announcing they want to run for Speaker. Majority Leader Steve Scalise and Republican Jim Jordan announced their bids. Jordan, of course, a huge supporter of Donald Trump's. As for Mr. Trump saying lots of people are asking him to run, there's never been a House Speaker elected who's not already in Congress, just for the record. Eyewitness News reporter Lauren Glassberg here now with the latest. Lauren?
Well, Bill, while lawmakers are putting their name in the hat, nothing is getting done in the House, nor can it. Meanwhile, all the Republican representatives from New York State voted to keep McCarthy as a speaker, and now they are frustrated by the antagonism that has infested the House.
Matt Gaetz is an extremist. He's someone who is a complete egomaniac.
I find him to be a detestable person. I don't think he has any morals or ethics.
There is not a lot of positive talk after yesterday's historic ouster of the Speaker of the House, an overthrow led by Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz and his small band of rogue lawmakers. Kevin McCarthy voted out of office, a move accomplished with the help of Democrats who voted with the MAGA-loving Gaetz against the often MAGA-siding McCarthy. Congressman Mike Lawler from Hudson Valley disappointed in his fellow New York lawmakers.
That New York Democrats, including Hakeem Jeffries, align themselves with someone who they have derided for years and believe to be unfit to serve. I believe speaks volumes to how bad it is in our body politic.
Perhaps it is a big dose of political karma.
A Speaker of the House of Representatives has been removed from his position at the hands of radicals that he empowered from day one.
Now there's a spin over who could take over, who would want to take over the fractured House with a Republican Party so divided and Democrats so distrusting. There's even talk of the former president filling the role.
A lot of people have been calling me about Speaker. All I can say is we'll do whatever's best for the country and for the Republican Party.
But more likely it will be one of these four Republicans. Republicans will meet on Tuesday to discuss. But in the meantime, the work of the House is on hold.
A lot of blunt, direct conversations need to be had. But, you know, at the end of the day, we're elected to do the job on behalf of the American people, and that needs to be the focus.
And remember, the House only just passed a stopgap measure to keep the government funded and running. But those funds run out in 44 days, which adds intense pressure to finding a new Speaker of the House.